The Queen stopped and spoke to some old people from a nearby infirmary. America's reaction to the present situation in Europe is profound. We know that she's sending her planes over here, and we know that President Roosevelt has declared the government's intention of lending all material aid possible in the circumstances as they now exist. He has now taken into his government two political opponents, Mr. Stimson, former Secretary of State to President Hoover, and Governor Knox, who ran for Vice President last election. This doesn't mean a coalition government, but it is a sign of America's anxiety. Now as to her own defences, which we have heard the President declare will be built up to any heights required by foreign aggression. The first of her new battleships goes down the slipway at Philadelphia, having been christened the Washington, after the state of that name, but equally after the capital and the first American president. This is in the 35,000-ton class, which corresponds to our own most modern ships launched just before the war. And here's another of them, the North Carolina, sped on its way by the daughter of the governor and built at Brooklyn, New York. Two very useful additions to America's Navy, and there are more building. At the same time, a big expansion in the Army is taking place, and the recruiting campaign is in full swing. Medical inspection seems much the same process there as here, but the oath, of course, is different. Their training depot is a place called Fort Slocum. Here they get their uniform and start drilling. America begins to think that she will need a big army in the future as well.